Welcome back to our tutorial class. I'll be continuing to number problem 3 today. You're still with me, I hope. So basically in problem 3, we are we are discussing one of the basic financial theorem in corporate finance. Basically, this is an M&M proposition. There's two proposition. I hope you can look it up at your book. Basically, just read it. If you still don't understand, you can ask us through WhatsApp, because basically this needs an intensive reading and an applied practice for you to understand why the M&M proposition is really significant in finding the perfect balance of capital structure of your company. So basically, in problem number A, basically we find the value of company unlevered, basically because the company does not have any basically they does not have any debt. So basically, based on proposition 1 M&M with tax, what is the company value? So what you got here, or what actually happened here, is when there is no tax, or when there is no debt in M&M proposition, basically your company values is using this formula right here, and it is unlevered. Why it is unlevered? Because you basically does not have any debt. In M&M proposition, without tax, basically your company values does not change regardless of how many debts you have. However, if your company has a debt, and if your company has more debt, basically what happens is that you have a value of levered. So levered company's value is much more higher, and the reason is that you have a tax shield, which basically increase the company's value. This is the formula for it. Okay? If you don't understand, please ask us for this proposition, because this proposition is quite difficult to explain. For the levered one, when you have a certain amount of debt, basically you have a certain amount of tax shield, which actually increase your company value. And for problem C, basically we have 100% debt, a higher value. This does not mean that the company should have 100% debt capital structure. Okay? Because this story has a shortcoming, basically because it regard like basically it forgets to explain the fact of having a higher debt. As I have briefly mentioned before in a previous tutorial, especially about ratio, when you have a higher debt, when you have a high financial leverage, when you have a bad year, or when you have a negative net income, or basically negative operating income, your company are at the end or at the edge of bankruptcy. So I hope you're not doing this on the real life. You do not have a lot of debt. So I hope you read up for the proposition. This one is really difficult to explain if you do not read the book first. So thank you for listening. This is for the end for our today tutorials. Thank you.